Alright guys, welcome to the 2023 Cross Farms Open. This is powered by AGP Electric, sponsored by Heiser Disc Sports, also sponsoring this coverage. Huge shout out to them in Vernon, Connecticut. They got a brand new shop. Go check them out. We got a tie up top with Dylan Rees and Maxwell Vasicek at -1. Larry Warwick at even and Chris Spear on the card at +1. Catch Cam Brad not too far behind. You guys are in for a good round. Let's go ahead and meet our players. First up, Dylan Rees. We've seen him on coverage before. He's got all the hat tricks. Discraft player. In for a lot of good shots today. Maxwell Vasicek, Disc Golf Brah ambassador. This dude can rip, 946 rated, throwing that Brah wizard all day. Larry Warwick, we've seen him at Willow Valley, West Warwick, Rhode Island, 974 rated, super well-rounded game. Chris Spear, this is actually his birthday. Shout out to Chris Spear for playing this. He's at +1. Manchester, I would say this is his home course. It's going to bring us to our first hole, hole 1, par 3, 219. This is kind of a must-get birdie coming in right around par. It's a little tricky off the tee. You want to sneak right in between these two trees here where the drone is flying, get something that skips. You can play kind of a faster fairway driver or kind of a stiff mid-range, something that gets you a little bounce, a little skip, and gets you into that hyzer game. First up, we got Dylan Rees here throwing his Malta, and this is low. This is picture perfect. Check out this bounce. Snugged right up against the basket there. That's a great shot from Dylan. Really good way to start this round. This is Max's Neutron Envy here. Dude throws putters all day. So smooth. Just needed to miss that one tree there. Good height on that. Good release. Just needed to miss that one. We're going to see this lefty out of Larry. He's going Firebird here. Something a little faster. I like this play. A little too much height off his hand. Sneaks through the back door. He'll have a long birdie look there. Chris is going to throw a Glimmer Verdict here. Plays this course a lot, knows the right height, similar to Dylan's. Just hit that first tree, one of the first trees there. There's a bunch of trees on this hole. This is where Chris ended up. He's just going to throw something up and down, kind of an easier par, definitely a birdie that you want to get to start your round, but you're kind of happy with a par. Here's where Max ended up. He's got a lot of trees in his face. Faked me out on the camera there and just does a nice kind of easy half bid layup. I think got caught up in a couple branches higher up there, but decent run. This is Larry's look at a birdie. He's putting with these 5s. He's been putting with these for a while. About 35 here. Good run. Need a little more height. This is going to be Max's a little more than a tap in for par. Maybe a little camera nerves. Shake that one off. This is where Chris ended up for his par shot. This is our first look at his putter. Kind of a very unique style. Kind of a good catch there, but a lot of speed on his putt. You can see smiling it off a little bit, but a good way to start. This is where Dylan ended up. This was a great drive, easy birdie, super confidence. Dylan's been around for a while, great player. Really smart the way he tackles this course. Early bogey from Max, unfortunate, but a good par there from Larry. That's going to move us over to hole 2, par 3, 298. This is a really fun one. Most people are going to take a forehand route where the drone is flying. You can also throw a little kind of turnover backhand. There's a couple different routes you can take on this hole, but again, a lot of trees is going to be a common theme that you see on this hole. 298, so a decent amount of distance with the amount of trees that you're looking at, but something that finishes on a forehand kind of skippy at the end, or a turnover, just kind of something that sits towards the end. But looking at this hole in the tee box, this is kind of a scary shot. Dylan's going to throw his force here on a forehand. That's one you need to miss. Gets 2 great kicks, though, and that's a great result. Larry's going to go with this Halo Thundy off the tee. We did have a lot of wind throughout the day, so you're going to see these guys kind of wait for the wind as much as they can. Hits that early tree, and that's a bad result there for Larry. Shake that off. Chris is going to this Halo Wraith, our first look at his forehand. This is a little high and hits that same tree. That's a tough tree to bounce back from. We're going to see a little Firebird out of Max here, and this is a great height, great line. This is the route you want to take. Get a little skippy at the end and kind of outdrove the basket there. Stayed a little straight. I think it hit a late tree, but it'll give him a long downhill birdie look. Here's Chris with a Justice upshot. And this is a really good line. Going to take a big skip at the end and get him towards the hole. And yeah, that's picture perfect. Chris is on Team Tolland, so he does play here often. But really good player, fun to watch. Happy to have him on coverage. Here's Larry's upshot, and that's nice, picture perfect. Really fun to have a lefty on the card to see the different routes that they take. Dylan going to give this kind of a full bid here. Was a little wind in play. I think that pushed that down. We're going to see where Max ended up here. Maybe about 35, just outside circle, downhill putt here. And I think pushed down just a little. And we're going to see a lot of kind of ground play on this course. There are roots, there are a lot of rocks on the green, but it is kind of a fast green. I think why a lot of players are a little intimidated by this course, besides all the trees, is the fast greens. So it really punishes you. Definitely one of my favorite courses. It's very challenging, but you know, you got to hit your lines, you got to make decisions, which I like that a lot. Good par there from Chris. Larry's going to tap in his par as well. And we're cruising. Going over to hole 3, par 3, 240. This is one of the shorter holes on the course. Dead straight down the hallway. It does get a little tight towards the basket, but you got to throw something straight. This hole did play as our 3rd easiest hole on the course. Definitely want to get this birdie throwing something like a putter, just straight, or if you want to throw something a little flexy on a forehand, you can find that backdoor route kind of there. And has this cool kind of box elevated green. Ace run is kind of difficult to dial in, but you do want to get that birdie. Something that just slides right up. Dylan's going to show us his little backhand putter. Gets a little turned over by the wind there. That was his roach. He'll take that. We're going to see a nice forehand zone out of Larry here. I like this play a lot from the lefty. Start with a flex, miss that main gap of trees, and yeah, that's going to nestle up real nice. You see that CTP flag? I think he just missed it, but great shot. Chris going to an envy here, trying to that back door and catches that early tree. And this is a Brah wizard out of Maxwell. He throws this thing a lot. It's a little flippy, and then you see that kind of middle flight flip. And yeah, that's going to nestle up lovely. That's what you want. Something that doesn't really challenge the ace, but just slides right up for the birdie. This looks like a Raptor Eye Slammer out of Chris. You're going to see this out of him a lot. I like that orange color. And this is where Dylan ended up not challenging it, just something that lays up. Gets that weird reaction off the tree, but that'll end up just fine. And here you see Chris with that kind of strong putting style kind of comes into play on these elevated baskets. Just a little misfire there. Really good, solid, firm stroke from him, but when you miss, you kind of miss. That's unfortunate bogey. Dylan's going to tap in this par. Really cool basket. I like this hole a lot. Maxwell with his birdie. Confident. The confidence is back. That puts him back at -1. And Larry with a great drive. Best drive out of the group. Easy tap in for bird. We like to see that. We got scores moving throughout. We got a good battle going on. Larry at -1. Dylan's got a lead by 1 stroke, and that's going to move us to hole 4. This is where the scores can kind of go all over the place. Par 3, 278. Feels like it plays a lot more than that. There are a couple different gaps on this tee that you're going to find. This is kind of a forehand flex line that the drone is taking. There is a right hand kind of backhand gap that you can get through, but you got to get through these gaps, and then you have to get elevated. So you kind of want to land where that rock wall is and give yourself kind of a long birdie putt. This is a great birdie if you can get it, but it's very challenging. So we're going to see this nice lefty back root from Larry. And this is his Sexton Firebird that finds a great gap right by the red basket there. That'll give him a long birdie putt. Maxwell says, that gap looks nice. I'll try that too, but gets a monstrous kick. Is in bounds up there, but this hole is extremely thick off the fairway. Dylan going back to this force forehand here. This is the gap you'd see most people take. Just a little early release from him. It's also kind of danger on the left-hand side as well. Chris with a Halo Wraith there gets a little high, gets sneaky through some kind of sneaky back gap, and that ended up real nice. We'll see that confuse kind of both of our cameras there, but right up by that rock well, he'll have a long birdie putt. Here's where Dylan ended up. It's a tricky forehand line. Once you get off that fairway on this hole, you really get punished. You can see this is where Maxwell ended up, just trying to get it up by that rock wall, which he does. Again, this is where you can see scores kind of all over the place on this hole, playing just over par. This is a tricky hole. Dylan really want to get up and down with the zone here. And when you get to this green, this is where the wind is just whipping, because we've been in the woods so far, and this green kind of opens up, and we really, really felt the wind on this hole. It's a good upshot there from Max with the zone. We see where Chris ended up, and this was a great shot to get where he is. Just looking up and down. Really nice shot out of him. Larry with almost a pin high Firebird. Good run. Gave it the right height, just a little offline. Really good shot out of Larry, though. Birdie on this hole is incredible. We could see Dylan really waiting for this wind. This is a tough putt. I don't know if the camera really shows this one, but this is a downhill putt. The wind is whipping, kind of a death putt because it is pretty sloped. You definitely don't want to be putting back up by those rocks. Real nice adjustment there. Happy with that bogey for sure with the wind. That you can see the trees just moving. Really good par out of Larry. Maxwell will take that bogey as well. And Chris is going to be tapping in his par here. Really fun hole. You really feel what the woods are like. You get a little glimpse of this open field. Moving on to our next hole, which is a really good transitional hole. Definitely got to go check out Heiser Disc Sports. Thanks again for sponsoring this tournament and also this coverage. Great company. Got to check them out. It's going to bring us to hole 5, par 3, 288. We're back in the open field now. You're really going to feel this wind kind of left to right on this hole. Really whipping, but this hole did play under par for the day. Kind of a standard forehand, something that kind of dumps to the right. Not too much, and it does finish downhill. You could throw backhand turnover on this hole. We're going to see mostly forehands out of these guys, but a really kind of good hole that gives you that feel of the open world in this course, which is very wooded. We can see the wind really takes this one out of Larry. It does get down by the pin, but it's going to be a long putt for him. I think the wind really lifted that one. We're going to see a Halo Destroyer, out of Chris here. And he puts a nice move on this one. Nice and low, lets the wind kind of move it. And that's how you chalk it up. That's parked. Great shot there from Chris. Max going to his Sexton Firebird here, and we can see that lift, which kind of slows him down, but actually puts him right near the basket. A little long. Really good shot there from Max. Kind of a player that has both, right? He's got a really strong forehand, really strong backhand. Really fun to watch. Dylan as well has the touch. We're going to see that force out of him again. And this one just stays a little too straight. Kind of gets a little flexed out of his hand. Gets caught up in that early kind of rock barrier there. We see this is where he ended up. Definitely a downhill bid here. Wants to give this a full commit. Got knocked down just a touch by the wind. Larry in this tight woods here, but does have a look in between these trees. And yeah, fired up. Great birdie out of Larry. Let's take another look at this one. Shout out to Q, our catch cam. Yeah, pro side. Great putt. Good catch, but great putt. He's fired up. This is going to be Maxwell's birdie. Keeps out driving these holes. Windy putt. That was a tough one. You can see his kind of pants moving all over the place. Take a par. Definitely wanted that birdie. Move on to the next one. Dylan's going to tap in here for his par. And Chris is going to tap in for his birdie. Great shot there from Chris. You're going to see him and Dylan talk about the shot on the previous round. But yeah, great shot out of Chris. Great birdie. It's going to move us on to another one of my favorite holes on this course. Hole 6, par 3, 447. This is where we're really going to see some big arms make a difference. You got to throw something that goes straight. Hyzers to the left, but not hyzering out too early. You want to make it through this gap and just kind of have a big finish towards the left. We're going to see big backhand, kind of straight to hyzers or flip up Heiser flips, a couple different routes you can take, but again, the wind comes into play on this hole for sure. Larry's going to be going to this Cloud Breaker 3. See a little forehand out of Larry. Lines up nicely for his lefty forehand. Needs asking kind of for a lot of distance out of the forehand, but this is looking really good. Nice line out of the hand. He's going to come to this first kind of barrier. That's a really good shot. Still has about 100 left, 150 maybe, but really good distance, good shot from Larry. Chris going to a star wraith here. Really nice turnover. Just needs to miss this kind of obstacle here, which it's like a pull-up bar or something like that. I think nicks it just a little bit, but really good shot. Maxwell going to the Star Destroyer, and this has some really good height. Just got to keep moving. And I think nicks one of those trees. Good distance, had the height, just need to miss those. This is a nuke out of Dylan, and this is absolutely nuked out of his hand. Really good height. Let's keep pushing. Needs a big finish at the end. And yeah, just incredible. Almost parked. 447. Pin high. Just a great shot there from Dylan. Needs a big up and down here from Maxwell to keep the pressure on Dylan. Going to that Brah Wizard, which just floats and glides forever right over the basket. Really good shot. Just going to have a longer putt for his par than he wants. Brah Wizard. Available at discgolfbrah.com. Here's that slammer there from Chris, looking to go low. Something that skips, and didn't skip as much as he wanted, but right by that tree, that'll work. Long putt here for Larry, looking to jump putt this. Puts it on a nice height. Boom. Back-to-back birdies. It was a great putt. It's got a little smile. Let's go. Let's take another look at this from Larry. Kind of a fall jump putt with some nice height, good angle, and yeah, that's a big putt from Larry. Putting that pressure on these guys back-to-back, just heating up that jump putt. And this is going to be kind of a big bounce-back putt from Maxwell. Yeah, really good par putt there. Had a good amount of distance on that and a lot of pressure after that long jump putt from Larry. Chris looking to dial in that par. That's a great putt. Scores are moving all over the place. We got Larry in the lead now at -3. Oh, excuse me. And for Dylan taps in for his birdie. That'll put Larry in the lead at -3 and Dylan at -2. We got a tight battle up top. Maxwell at even, so we got some scores moving around. Hole 7, par 3, 380. We got a lot of things going on this hole. You got to throw a big kind of S-curve, turnover, backhand, something that moves, and you got to have distance, and it's got to finish hard. You want to get something that kind of finishes right around this area and skips towards the hole. It's a very specific line and specific shot. You got to have the arm and you got to have the angle control if you want a birdie on this hole. We're going to see a forehand out of Larry. This has a nice flex. Kind of slips a little on the tee. This is a OG DD3, as he puts it. And nice kind of skip. I think it just goes backdoor those trees, but that'll work out. This is a Zeus out of Dylan. This gets a nice turn. I like this. It's kind of backdoor. Still has a lot left, but kind of gets through that open area. Maybe about 80 left, but really good shot there from Dylan. We got a Saint Pro from Chris. He's looking to go a little flippy and finish towards the hole. This just gets a little too turny, but finds that backdoor route. And still has a little left work to do, but right by those trees, kind of up and down for par. Might have a look for birdie. Maxwell's going back to that Star Destroyer, and let's take a look at this flight. Decent height. This is looking real good. Just keeps going. He's got so much speed control. What a great rip. Outdrives the hole. Had a really nice turn. I thought that was going to finish hard towards the basket, but still a little left. He'll definitely have a birdie luck there. We're going to see another slammer out of Chris, trying to get that up and down. I like this play. Just go wide outside gap. Almost rings it up. I'll have that left for his par. That's a good shot. Larry looking to go 3 for 3 with these jump putts. Kind of a good half bid there. Actually, probably a good full bid. Just missed the line a little bit. But he's dialing it up. That'll be that's scary for these competitors. Here's Dylan's birdie look with this roach. look good. Just need a little more height. So Maxwell with this incredible drive just has a little too much in his way. A couple trees right in his face. Has to do a big spread out. Kind of took him a little bit to get set up for the shot. Tough shot there. Needed a lot of kind of power from his legs, and he was already spread out. So wanted that birdie. Gave it the good drive. Just had a little too many things in his way. Good par, though.
Yeah, I had.
Definitely happy with the par on this hole.
Yeah, must have.
Dylan tapping in for his par as well. Good par there from Chris. And nice tap in there from Larry, and we're moving on. That's going to bring us to hole 8, par 3, 415. Another one that has a lot of distance and a lot of trees. We're going through this right side gap. You kind of want to do something that has a hyzer flip to, yeah, hyzer flip. Something kind of flat to turn over, but still needs to carry 400 feet. This is a tough hole. There's not many shot shapes that I have, at least, that would get me there. But we're going to see a couple different shapes from these guys. Larry going with this forehand. We're going to see an interesting kind of shape out of him. He's going to arrive here. Something a little speedy. Wants a little flex out of this one. Just gets a little too flexy off his hand. Dylan going to this Undertaker here. Kind of want to aim at that left gap tree right where he's aiming. Just needs to turn a little earlier, but that had a really good line on it. Chris going to this ESP Comet that he likes to throw a lot, and this is incredible. Just needs to miss that gap. Need a little more height, but that was going to get there. Chris was saying he plays this hole for par, which I agree with. That was a great shot. Just has a lot left. Tough to want to challenge that gap of trees with so much distance on this hole. Max going back to that destroyer that he threw in the last 2 holes, and this looks really good. Good distance, good height. Good movement on it. Just has a little too much finish to it, but a really good shot. Larry going back to that ride, just looking to get a little distance cut up on this hole. And ends up right by that log. That was a good shot. Going back to this Undertaker from Dylan, kind of in between discs, just looking to throw something hyzery and skippy. And goes really on this outside gap. Needs a big old skip and finds that unfortunate tree there. Chris looking to get up and down. This is a great tee shot. Just kind of shanks this second shot. And it's going to pay for that one, unfortunately. So this will be for Dylan's par. This is a long par putt. Definitely in his range. Little stepper. Oh, just needed 1 more inch. That was a good look for sure. This is where Chris ended up. Looking kind of half run this one. Just skips off the rim. Really good upshot there from Chris. Kind of a full half bid. Full half bid. Trademark. Here's Maxwell's run here right off the top of the cage. Something about these baskets is tough in this course. So hard to see with all these trees. Love these baskets, but definitely adds to the challenge of this course. Larry with a little upshot there. Gets a little roll, but no harm, no foul. Max going to tap in here for his par. Keep it moving. Larry's going to get a bogey here, unfortunately. That early tee shot on this hole definitely can make it pay. Bogey there for Chris, unfortunately, after that great drive. Puts him at +2. And a bogey there for Dylan as well. Moving on to hole 9. This is the last of our front here. Hole 9, par 3, 293. This is a short one. Definitely an ace run hole. I would say one of the easier holes, but you really got to find this very specific gap that the drone is flying. You want to throw something that doesn't have too much fade, maybe a little putter, flip up, understable putter that just kind of finishes straight towards the basket. But another really specific line on this course that you just got to hit or it'll make you pay. We're going to see that Brah Wizard again from Max. Super confident stepping up on this hole and just kind of early released shank a little bit. That'll be a tough up and down for him. He wanted that one bad. Larry going to a judge here. We're just going to see a nice couple putter shots from these guys. Smooth. Larry finding this other gap. Just needs to miss that one skinny tree. Chris going back to this ESP Comet. I like this. Started on the left side of the hole. Just kind of starts it in the middle and turns through this pro gap. And that was almost crazy. Gets to that kind of V in the tree. Not sure that's where he's aiming, but that was an incredible shot to watch. We're also going to see a comment out of Dylan. Same thing, just need to start a little more left. This will be a tricky up and down here. No water on this this part of the hole, but on a lot of days there is. Kind of a dry day for us. A lot of wind actually on some of these holes, but decent temperature, not too cold. We're just going to see a lot of kind of decently average woods golf from these guys in terms of elements. No rain, a lot of wind, but pretty dry for the most part. Larry eyeing up one of his signature jump putts here. And just kind of fluff that one. Chris with a little more than he wanted here, but this Comet kind of got through everything. Just hit a late tree, about pin high. Maybe 20 feet. Just a little low. This is going to be for Dylan's par. Just went a little beyond the hole, but has a decent look. Another one of these holes where the wind is kind of tricky because it's coming off the next hole, which is very flat. And Larry just kind of squeaked that one in. Very sneaky on that hole. Max going to tap in for his par. And Dylan tapping in for his bogey. Scores are moving, folks. We got a lot of action happening on this front nine. Really fun front nine to watch with you guys. Great part of the course down. We still got another really fun part coming up. We got Larry at -2. We got Dylan at even. Max at even. Chris at +2. Ketchka and Brad at +4. A couple people at +5, +7. It's Larry's kind of back to win. We got a lot of good action coming up for you guys on the back nine. Thanks so much for watching the front. This was a lot of fun. Thanks again to Heiser Disc Golf. We'll see you guys in the back nine. Thanks again for watching. This is Jim from Disc Golf Brah. We'll see you guys.